So, dear partners, dear guests, dear colleagues, welcome at the online cooperation meetings between Fraunhofer Austria Lakeside Labs and the Jozef Stefan Institute. Now I would like to give floor to Dr. Anton Novak, Consulate General Klagenfurt, or Celovec in Slovenian. So,
thank you. I was invited to say a few words in the beginning of this meeting. I must say that I'm very glad that it's coming to concrete talks between Institute Jozef Stefan, Fraunhofer, and Lakeside Labs, and that so many experts participate today on this online meeting. It is almost 2 years since we proposed cooperation between Institute Jozef Stefan and Carinthian institutions on the field of artificial intelligence. The proposal was well received by the Carinthian side and resulted in the letter of intent, which was signed this February between the governments of Carinthia and Slovenia, which is not including only artificial intelligence, but also other fields of possible cooperation. Now it's on you, experts, to discuss concrete projects of mutual interest that could perhaps get financial support from the EU funds or could be interested for different public and private investors. By this occasion, I would like to inform you that also there are meetings between chancellors of Ljubljana and Klagenfurt universities. First meeting was held in Klagenfurt in April. The next one will be held in Ljubljana on 15th June with participation of different faculties. I hope that also these meetings will result in more intense cooperation between two universities in benefit of not only students, but also wider society. At the end, I wish you fruitful talks. Thank you for your attention.
thank you, Dr. Anton Novak. And I would now like to give a word to Professor Dr. Gregor Dolanc, Head of Department of from Jozef Stefan Institute.
Okay, dear all, first of all, I would like to thank you to His Excellency Dr. Anton Novak, General Consul. It's my great honor and pleasure to welcome you at this virtual event. We always strive to maintain existing and establish new collaborations with excellent research in centers worldwide and especially from the neighborhood. Research and collaboration is a good way to excellent scientific discoveries and innovation for the benefit of society. We at Jozef Stefan Institute currently have several bilateral projects with Austria and wish to further increase this number, in particular in collaboration with Carinthia. There's also a long history of cooperation with Lakeside Labs and Fraunhofer Institute as well. As an outcome of signing this memorandum of understanding between the Republic of Slovenia and Carinthian government, we have strived to establish even deeper collaboration, thus this event and meetings are taking place. Some of us already know each other and some of you will meet for the first time. So this is a place to exchange ideas and proposals for cooperation. Today's meetings could be a motivation for further discussion and joint work in the future. So I wish you a successful event. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Dolanc. Dr. Dolanc, now I would like to give a word to Dr. Andrea Umek-Venturini from Ministry of Education, Science and Sport.
Yeah, thank you very much. Let me share first my presentation because I do have some presentation. I think it would be even easier for the audience. Is it okay?
It's fine.
Okay, so yeah, well, very well, warmly welcome also from my side. As it was introduced, I am Andrea Umek-Venturini, coming from the Ministry of Education, Science and Sport. And I'm here today with you as a national contact point for digital area in Horizon Europe. This is placed in cluster 4, and digital areas are in 3, 4, and 6 destinations of this cluster 4. But maybe just to proceed, it would be easier for you to see the next slide. Well, let me see why it's not moving.
Excuse me, maybe we can try with my print.
Okay, it's okay. Well, as I said, Horizon Europe offers you vast opportunities for different kinds of collaboration, not just the digital part, as I will talk today about the last 2 calls which are possible in 2022, but in general, I mean, this Horizon Europe has many opportunities in every possible domain of scientific research or technological development. And this here encircled in red is cluster 4, for which I'm responsible for the digital part. But in clusters, actually not only the digital part, but also the industry research and the space technologies. Currently, we are, as a member states and the Commission, we are in the process of preparing the work program for 2023-2024 for the next 2 years, which will be the basis for the future calls. We believe that the program will be adopted in the autumn, with the possibility to have first calls open already in December this year or early next year. But still, we have 2 calls now, which I will talk more in detail about them. They are the call for digital and emerging technology and the call for human-centered technology, which are still open, will be open in next few days in June with a closure in November, and it can be a nice possibility for the audience today. Some basic facts first about the Horizon Europe calls and applications. I'm not sure how familiar you are with this. The eligibility criteria for applying to Horizon Europe calls is that this is a collaborative project. In majority of calls, it goes about the collaborative projects. And here you have to have a minimum of at least 1 independent legal entity established in a member state, and at least 2 other independent legal entities, each established either in a different member state or in an associated country. And as you can see, this kind of event, as you have today, is a first nice step to build a consortia with different partners from different countries. Usually it's not only 3 partners, it's 7, 6, or maybe even 10, but this is kind of event which can be a nice start. Of course, every legal entity from EU member states can receive funding, and also some other countries if you have them in consortia in some special cases, but this is more in detail in each project or in each text call. What is also important for future participants is, of course, the maximum funding rates you can receive from the level of the EU funding. There are several types of actions which can be in these calls for project proposals from the Horizon Europe, but I will mention just the first 2 ones because they are the majority of calls are about the research and innovation actions and about the innovation actions. And the funding rate to receive the funding from the EU level for research and innovation action is 100%. And for the innovation action, it's 70% in general. But even in this case, in case of the innovation action, for non-profit legal entities, it is 100%. So it's quite, I would say, a nice possibility for project proposals. The project proposals, which are submitted to the calls of Horizon Europe, are evaluated by 3 different criteria: by the excellence, by the impact, and by the quality and efficiency of the implementation. And here is in more detail described how to interpret these evaluation criteria in the cases of research and innovation actions and in case of innovation actions. Under excellence criteria, it is important the clarity of your project objectives and also how ambitious you are with your project objectives, how much you go beyond the state of the art in your area. What is also important is the sound, clear methodology, how you will do this. And this has to integrate the open science practices. This is more and more important on a Horizon Europe, that you follow the open science practices. Then it depends on the area where are you working, also that you consider the gender dimension of your research. Under the second criteria, impact, it's about the credibility of your pathways to the outcomes and impacts of your project, and not just during the project or immediately after the end of the project, but you have to foresee how the impact of your project will last in the years after the project is finished and the funding has ceased. Very important is also how you prepare in this project proposal the dissemination and exploitation plan, how you will communicate with a larger audience, public audience, or with your professional partners in the future. And under the third criteria, quality and efficiency of the implementation, it's important the quality and effectiveness of your work plan, how you have divided your project into work packages, what is the capacity and relevance of each individual partner, and also the consortium as a whole. And here you have to pay attention not to describe only your scientific and technological capacity, but also include your references in the open science practices if you have them, of course. When the experts are assessing your project proposal after the deadline of the call for proposals, they of course assess your scientific or technological excellence of your project proposal, no doubt. But besides that, they are looking into 6 horizontal aspects of your project proposal. So you have to address all those 6 axes of when you're submitting your proposal. As I already mentioned, open science practices are becoming more and more important. Then there is gender dimension of your research in the project, but this depends on the area. I would say if you are in the area of robot-human interaction, this is relevant and you have to address it. But if you are in the area, let's say, of design of a new two-dimensional material, then it's not relevant. So it depends. Then the third horizontal aspect is the pathway to impact, how much of impact will last after your project proposal will end. Then all the measures with which you will maximize the impact, like information, awareness raising, exploitation plan, dissemination plan. The fifth aspect is do not significant harm principle you have to follow. And this actually means that you do not harm the environment, the nature with your project proposal, with your activities, neither with your project results after the project is ended. And the last one is about the responsible use of artificial intelligence in your project, if you use it as a tool, or even if you are developing the artificial intelligence, if this is the objective of your project proposal. And you have to develop or use the trustworthy artificial intelligence, which is following the standards and rules which are set in the EU. So now, let's just mention, I won't read that all for you, but just to mention these 2 calls, which I said they are still open. They will open on 16th of June with the closure on 16th of November. And this is immediate opportunity for you for this kind of event you will have later. The first call is Digital and Emerging Technologies 2022, the second call. And 5 topics, as you can see, from 17 to 22, 5 topics are from the area of graphene or in general, two-dimensional materials. All those 5 topics, if you will apply to these 5 topics, they are a continuation of graphene flagship. So you must be aware of, Yes, here we are again. So you must be aware of what was happening already on the Graphene flagship, what was already funded there, which activities, and also you have to show that you are familiar with their strategic research agenda. This is kind of basis for the submitting your project proposal. In this call, Digital and Emerging Technologies in 2022, there are another 3 topics which are from the area of artificial intelligence, data and robotics. And these 3 topics were introduced by European Partnership, ADRA, which is a European partnership in the area of artificial intelligence, data and robotics. And therefore, it's the same as I said for flagship on Graphene. You have to know what was already funded from there. You can see it on their website, or even maybe you are a member of this partnership. What is their strategic goals for the next years? And you have to show the familiarity with the activities of this ADRA association. The second call, which will be open in few days and will last again the same till 16th of November, is human-centered technologies, with 2 topics. Here are only 2 topics which are will be open this year, and both are coming from the area of artificial intelligence. And the same goes that these 2 topics are introduced by the ADRA association, so you have to familiarize yourself with their activities in the past. So coming to the end of my presentation about the national support measures we are offering as a national contact point at the ministry. Of course, we function as your contact to the European Commission for different questions, interpretations, to DG Connect in this regard of digital and emerging technologies and human-centered technologies. And also we can function as your contact to the other national contact points in other countries. We have quite a good network, and we exchange our best practices. We exchange information on partner search and all other relevant informations. And for instance, a national contact point for Austria, I know my colleagues, they are an FFG organization doing the same as I do here in Slovenia. Also, we organize information events or workshops, or come to the and integrate in the events as you have prepared today at the Jozef Stefan Institute. We also advise to the organizations, or personally to the persons who apply for certain call in Horizon Europe. And we have a dedicated website at the ministry's websites to this special program of Horizon Europe, and especially for digital area. You can find there all relevant information you need, further links to different recordings of past events, and you can also there subscribe to the mailing list. And when you are in the process of preparing project proposal, don't forget to ask for the assistance your organization, which really can help you with the general things like financial construction and open access practices you have at the Institute, and so on. So with this, I will finish my presentation with some important links. As I already said, we have a website at the ministry dedicated to Horizon Europe and also to this digital area. And there is a participant portal from the European Commission for Horizon Europe, where all calls, including these 2, which I briefly presented today, are there with all the relevant and available call documentation you would need. So in the name of National Contact Point Networks of Slovenia, I wish you a very good and interesting meeting, and many future contacts for the future applications in Horizon Europe calls, and would like to excuse for my quickly running presentation. I haven't noticed before that probably I have some timer, which I shouldn't have. So hope it was readable for you anyhow. Wish you all the best.
Thank you, Dr. Andrea McVenturini. It was an important presentation for the next program. So We continue with presentations of 3 institutions. So first I invite Dr. Eva Egeling to briefly present Fraunhofer Austria.
So thank you very much. I first have to figure out how to share my screen, a different system. This is the first challenge of every
You have a green button on the below.
So do you see my presentation or do you see my different screen?
Just put please on the full screen mode. I mean on the presentation mode.
Yeah, I think I'm sharing the wrong screen. Let me try one more time. So now it should be fine. Do you see my steps?
Perfect. Thank you. Perfect.
Yeah, thank you very much, and thank you very much for the nice words and also for the presentation to the European, to the Horizon Europe opportunities. Can we get the slides afterwards? So yeah, okay, good.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Okay, good. Yeah,
I'm sorry for the timer, which shouldn't be there.
That's okay. So I want to introduce quickly Fraunhofer Austria, Fraunhofer Austria Research GmbH, as we are called in the complete name, and I'm standing here today for the Center for Data-Driven Design, which includes visual computing and artificial intelligence. I'm head of the center, and I go to the next. Try to go to the next slides. Okay, so Fraunhofer Austria is an Austrian legal entity, but we are a 100% subsidiary of the Fraunhofer Gesellschaft that you probably know. And the important message here is that we are smaller than the big sister, but we have the same rules. And Fraunhofer is the largest European applied research organization, and with almost 30,000 employees now. So there's a big network that we can reach out if you want to, if we want to perform projects. And the important message at this point is that we are not only in Germany, but also we have the worldwide network. So if you want to do a European project, or if you want to do a European project, even if you are not personally involved, we can always hand out to our partner countries. Because of the network, we have a very direct connection to other countries. So it makes very easy to get foreign countries included. So as an offer for you, or as an offer for our common activities. Back to Austria. Here in Austria, we have 116 researchers in January of this year. I don't have the exact time because we are growing. We are really fast growing. We have 2 directors that I want to mention, Professor Fellner and Professor Zien. But the important message for now is that we have 4 locations in Austria and 2 centers. So the first center is the Center for Sustainable Logistics and Production Planning, located in Vienna, with a small group in Tyrol, in Wattens. And the Center for Data-Driven Design that I'm speaking for, with the locations Graz and Klagenfurt. And Klagenfurt has a new innovation center in digitization and artificial intelligence, KI for Life, which was the starting point for our to get in touch and to collaborate closer, because we're so close geographically, so close to each other. But of course, we can involve the colleagues from the Vienna Center if you want to talk about logistics and production planning or supply chain topics in the future. Fraunhofer is always building the bridge in whatever country we are located, but the bridge between academic research at the universities that we talk to, and on the other side to the industrial companies. So in general, Fraunhofer is building this bridge, and we think that we understand the demands and the challenges of industry and economy. So we talk to both and to try to connect both worlds. And this is what makes Fraunhofer special, I would say. And yeah, our offer starts from teaching. We do research and development, but also yeah, perform solutions that are included in the productive daily work in companies. Our research offer for our company partners, but also for our research partners, in a nutshell, is listed on this picture. So I don't have to read all the buzzwords for you, but that you see what we can offer. On the upper part, it's more the Graz group, which is included in the auditory, and on the lower part are the Klagenfurt group, so the artificial intelligence guys. But of course, they are working together in projects. But our offer starts from mixed reality topics until yeah, several artificial intelligence technologies. And we also have a training, a curriculum. So we train data scientists of the future. Most of the courses are at the moment in German, but we could expand it to English, so if you are interested. And we have a special focus on small and medium-sized enterprises with the Klagenfurt group, because this, as you know, Carinthia has not that many really big companies, so it makes sense that we concentrate on the smaller groups. So these are the methods that we can offer, and what the red line on all our projects is this data-driven design mission. So we know how to deal with data from our partners. We have our toolbox from the visual computing part and from the artificial intelligence part, and using these tools and the right methods based on the data that we see or that we get, we support in finding the right decision. So what we mostly do is kind of a decision support system for the customer, and of course visualize these possible decisions, because we have this interactive data visualization know-how, because it doesn't make sense if you have a calculation of something if you cannot show to your customer how to use it. So you need a little bit more than that Excel tabular. So the data-driven design approach is what is in common in all our projects. We apply these methods and technologies to different application areas. Of course, we cannot do everything, but we started with automotive industry because in Graz Group, there's a lot of automotive industry around. Building information modeling is an area where we feel quite good. Logistics, because we are collaborating with our Vienna colleagues a lot. The health sector is very strong in our sister institute in Germany, but we will do much more here in the future. So data-driven design and decision support for health topics, technical or patient-wise. Semiconductor industry, yeah, we are here Infineon is not far away, so we have a lot of projects with Infineon, so we gained a lot of domain knowledge in this area. And the youngest application baby, if I can call it, is the forest and timber, or as we call it, bioeconomy topic. And it was quite interesting that I saw it somewhere in the slides that there are also open calls in the bioeconomy area that you did not mark, but maybe you could talk about this later on. So we decided that we don't want to apply our artificial intelligence and visual computing know-how for the industry, but also for climate relevant topics, because we should do our best also to push and to support nature. So that's why I put it here on the list. This will become more and more important in the future. And this is the end of the short run. I'm really happy to be here and that so many people can participate. I did not introduce my group now, but I think we will do this later in the workshops. Otherwise, we will never come to start the workshops. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Eva Egeling. Since we have a very short time, we are almost over with the first part with time. I would like to introduce Magister Claudia Prügler to shortly present Lakeside Labs.
Yes.
Then we follow with presentation of JSI, and then we start with the meetings with a little bit of delay, but first part is a little bit longer, so we can manage. So,
okay,
thank you.
Thank you very much, and welcome to everybody. So now I'm happy that I just made a really, really short presentation. So please to the next slide. Lakeside Labs is a non-profit, non-university research center which was founded in 2008. And that's also the time that we met Jozef Stefan Institute. At that time, we were like a project management office for the university. Research was done at the university, and Lakeside Labs was just doing something like technology transfer, helping them with publishing things, going into patents, filing patents and things like that. And the main thing why, or the main reason why Lakeside Labs was established was also to bridge between university and industry. And now it's more like between fundamental research and applied research and going into industry applications. And it was to strengthen Carinthia as an R&D hotspot. So we have the university here, the Applied Science University. We had already AIT, Austrian Institute of Technology, a small division here. And then they decided, okay, they wanted to do something in the ownership of Austria. And that's what it is. Like, we are owned by the BABEC, which is more or less the government of Carinthia, which they are like looking over us, and the University of Klagenfurt. So we are a really small institute. We have 17 researchers right now, but we can also say we are very agile, and it has all its strengths and weaknesses that it has a small organization. We can decide very fast. We can decide by ourselves what projects we want to do, what we want to participate, which calls are fine for us, and we can decide within a day if we participate or not. And that's sometimes with real huge organizations quite a difference, because you have to go through different stages and all the other things. And what we did so far is we have 3 spin-offs by former employees. 2 are still in preparation. And that's something that we wanted to do, like showing that we are very good in scientific means, which is 550 scientific publications, but most of them in really highly qualified journals, like really high-ranked journals and conferences. And we try to be there in the top conferences as well. We filed 6 European projects with like different countries as well, and 3 US patents, but only to show that we are able and capable to do that. It's not that we really want to own it. We don't want to, I mean, everybody knows who has patents. It's quite costly, and for a small organization as us, it's sometimes not feasible. But we want to do patents, for example, if we do a spin-off and we want to provide it for our spin-offs. So next slide, please. What is our main focus in research? We are based on self-organization and swarm intelligence. So that's like really the main thing, and networked systems. And we apply that in like these network systems, multi-robot systems, and industry and logistics. So that's also our application fields. And we cannot really say we are focusing like, or it's really with borders or whatever. It's fluent. I mean, we try to combine them. We also do interdisciplinary projects. And that's also one of the strengths that we have, and with the consortia that we are doing projects with, that we try to do very applied and interdisciplinary projects. Then next slide, please. As I said before, our company is quite small, but to give you an overview, our senior researchers, which are also participating today, is in the first row, the research manager, Andreas Kercek, who is mainly also responsible to be the interface towards industry, towards other research organizations, towards the funding organizations, but also leading projects. Then in the second row, Dr. Raffelsberger, who is in sensor networks and communication, which is now 5G, 6G, ultra wideband. Then next to him is Dr. Schranz. She is mainly responsible for self-organization and swarm intelligence. She did a lot of projects, also Horizon Europe or Horizon 2020 projects within cyber physical systems or industry and logistic also. Then we have also Jennifer Simonian, which is in the third row, the fourth lady. Dr. Simonian is responsible also for self-organization, swarm intelligence, and multi-robot systems. So I think that gives us a short overview on how we distribute it. We have our senior researchers, and then we have a lot of master students working for us. Our gender balance right now is we have 44% women in the company, which we are quite proud of. But I mean, due to our size, it can change and it's very volatile. And I'm looking forward to today's meeting. As I said, we have right now probably 10, 12 projects running, one Horizon Europe project. And this spring we participated and applied for 8 European Horizon Europe projects. And we are looking forward if we could like set up 1 or 2 other projects or participate in 1 or 2 other Horizon Europe proposals still in this autumn. Okay, then thank you very much. I hope I was not too long.
Thank you, Magister Claudia Prügler. And I will continue with the presentation of Jozef Stefan Institute. I will try to go very quickly. I apologize in advance for that. Okay, so Jozef Stefan Institute is the leading scientific research institute in one of the leading research institutes in this part of Europe. We have more than 1,000 employees, 1,200 doctoral theses until 2020, 340 patents filed, 1,400 scientific articles, for example, 41,000 citations in Web of Science till 2019. It all started in 1949 as the Institute of Physics, and we are really proud of our scientists, Jozef Stefan, you all know Stefan Boltzmann law on black body radiation. Jozef Stefan Institute is located in 2 locations. One is in Ljubljana, the biggest facility, and one is in Reactor Center in Podgorica, where there is a lot of experimental facilities for nuclear research and physics and also environmental science. So Jozef Stefan Institute is oriented in all key enabling technologies areas. It all started with physics. There is 9 units, everything from theoretical physics to nuclear engineering, particle physics. And then the second pillar is electronics and information technologies. There is 8 units, from robotics to artificial intelligence, communications, systems control. Then we have chemistry, biochemistry, materials, and environmental science. We are particularly strong in materials as well. So we are also Enterprise Europe Network partner. So this is one of the largest technology network in Europe, supporting SMEs and researchers to partner together. We are also Digital Innovation Hub. So physics and nuclear technology, here is just a list of all departments. I will not go in the more detail, but there is electronics and information technologies, as I said, from the robotics, automation, artificial intelligence, communication systems to intelligent systems. Then we are chemistry, biochemistry, new materials, environmental science. we are particularly proud of our researchers who are establishing their own companies, our spin-outs, originating from the technologies developed at Jozef Stefan Institute and our partners. So there are spin-outs on all areas, from computer science, physics, material science, genetics, toxicity of materials for medicine, etc. We will start with online cooperation meetings. Here is the list of our colleagues, our scientists, mainly from all electronics departments and communication systems, and also from environmental sciences and from physics. So now I will give the word to our colleague, Marietta Drobets, for some housekeeping instructions.
Hello, also from my side. Now it's time for the meetings. We have incalculated this delay. If you see at the agenda, the first set of meetings should be long half an hour. Now it will be 20 minutes, as all other sets from 13:00 on. So look, find yourself in the table. Below you can see the breakout rooms. We have created 5, but please go to your room number 1, 2, 3, or 4. And at the beginning, present yourself, explain what you do, with slides or without, and then don't forget to exchange contact details. Don't forget to set concrete next steps, because in a year, we want to have 2, 3, 4 common projects. When the time is runs for the first meeting, go to the next room or stay in the same. And then at 2:20 please come back to this plenary room for the closing and wrap up. So please now just go to the rooms. Those that don't have the meeting scheduled, you can stay in this plenary room or go to room 5 and chat with other participants. If somebody has some technical issues, we will help. In each breakout room, there will be also one of my colleagues for any kind of assistance or moderation. Thank you.
Thank you, Marietta. I already gave the last slide, so we can start with the meetings and looking forward